Good afternoon, everyone. If I could have your attention for just a moment. I am Captain Mike, and on behalf of BB Riverboats and the crew, I'd like to welcome you aboard the River Queen. Not to alarm anybody, just to satisfy a Coast Guard requirement, life jackets. They are located on the front of each deck in white boxes, clearly labeled life jackets. They are also on the starboard aft of the first deck, next to the bar and in front of the restrooms, and on the third deck below the wheelhouse. Restrooms are on the aft of the first and second decks, and under the wheelhouse on the third. It is illegal to throw anything overboard, so please use the trash cans located throughout the vessel. Smoking of any kind is only permitted on the outside decks. Captain Alex is your cruise director this afternoon. As you can see, we have topped around. We are now headed southbound on the Ohio River. Once we get below the bridge in front of us, we will top around again and begin pointing out sites of interest. Again, welcome aboard the River Queen.
You imagine, you probably kind of
right now. The other way. I'll go down there.
Ja. Das ist ja grenzenlos. Ich kann sehen, wenn er aufsteht zu Legolas. Das Graue, was er auf temperaturmäßig war es auch nicht.
They went over there with Steve. I think I can feel
Over on the Ohio side, you will see the first of 3 sports complexes on the Cincinnati riverfront. This is the Paycor Stadium. This is home to Cincinnati's National Football League franchise, the Cincinnati Bengals. The stadium opened in August of 2000 and has a capacity of over 65,000. It was previously named after the founder of the Bengals, Paul Brown, whose family still owns the team. This stadium cost the city $455 million to build. Well, that concludes the sites I'll be pointing out to you guys today. That's not true at all. So we will be seeing 4 cities over on the Kentucky side. Over on our right-hand side is the city of Covington. The Gano brothers and Thomas Carneal founded Covington in 1814, and it was officially established as a town on February the 8th of 1815. The town was named after General Leonard Covington, who died during the War of 1812. The Ohio and Licking Rivers, 6th Street on the south and Washington Street on the west, made the boundaries of the original city, and the first lots here sold for $8 to $12 per lot foot. I would like to point out the murals on the Covington flood wall. These are known as the Roebling murals. The 18 murals that you see were all painted by a gentleman named Robert Dafford. He is a renowned artist, specializing in painting historical images of cities floodwalls. He has done several cities up and down the Ohio and Mississippi rivers, including Portsmouth, Ohio, Paducah and Maysville, Kentucky, and Vicksburg, Mississippi. These particular murals were all painted in chronological order from left to right, and they all show significant events in the history of Covington. There are 7 bridges in the downtown Cincinnati area. We will be going under 4 of them on our journey up the river today. Just ahead of us is probably the most historic landmark in the downtown area. This is the John Roebling Suspension Bridge. This bridge was designed and built by John Roebling. This bridge is famous for a few reasons. At the time of its completion in 1866, this was the longest suspension bridge in the world, with a span of 1,057 feet between the bridge piers. At that time, it was also the only bridge crossing the Ohio and lower Mississippi rivers from Pittsburgh down to the Gulf of Mexico. This bridge also served as the prototype for Roebling's next project, the Brooklyn Bridge, which was completed 17 years later. The original construction cost of this bridge was $1.8 million, and in 1895, the bridge was substantially rebuilt to accommodate increased traffic and new modes of transportation. This bridge was placed on the National Historic Register in May of 1973. Back on the Ohio side, we'll see a lot of excitement in the downtown area. This is a large development called the Banks. This is home to over 600 apartment residences, numerous restaurants and nightclubs, as well as music venues and the Christian Moorline Lager House. The park area in the foreground is the Smale Riverfront Park. It extends all the way from the Paycor Stadium up to the Great American Ballpark. The first part of this development opened in 2004. Directly to our left, you'll notice the bronze and beige building. This is the National Underground Railroad Freedom Center. If you weren't aware, you will travel the moment was once the boundary between the slave state and the free state during the Civil War. And the Underground Railroad would use this river to get slaves fleeing from the southern states into the free states north of the river. Smale Riverfront Park also has attractions, including Caroline's Carousel, as well as a great lawn, gardens, and playgrounds. Over on our right-hand side, you'll see a row of old homes on the Covington riverfront. This is the Riverside Drive district of Covington. It extends from the Ohio River south to 4th Street, and from the Licking River west to the alley between Garrett and Greenup. This is the city's old quarter, consisting of 4 square blocks with 40 buildings of architectural merit. All of these homes were built between 1850 and 1920. And a few of those homes were also used as safe houses prior to the Civil War. These homes pay tribute to the city's early wealth and prosperity, and the entire Riverside Drive district was placed on the National Historic Register in November of 1971. Just upriver from Riverside Drive, you will see another river flowing into the Ohio. This is the Licking River. This is a partly navigable 300-mile tributary of the Ohio River. It actually provides a boundary between two cities and two counties in Kentucky. It separates Covington, which sits in Kenton County, from Newport, which sits in Campbell County. It is also one of the few rivers that flows in a northern direction. The Licking River rises near the West Virginia border. It takes a northerly course across the state of Kentucky, emptying out here into the Ohio. The river got its name from its earliest settlers who used to notice wildlife, licking the salt out of the many salt mines located along this river, leading to the name the Licking River. Back on the Cincinnati side, you can see the Great American Ballpark. This is home to Cincinnati's Major League Baseball franchise, the Cincinnati Reds. The stadium opened in March of 2003 and holds just over 44,000 people. The stadium bears the name of Cincinnati's Great American Insurance Company, which is headquartered in the building behind the stadium. Because of the tiara, or the crown that was built on top of this building, it is now the tallest building in Cincinnati, standing 665 feet. The large red paddle wheel hoisted up in front of the ballpark is the National Steamboat Monument. This 60-ton monument commemorates Cincinnati's rich steamboat history. Cincinnati was one of the most important steamboat ports in the United States. In fact, one out of every 4 steamboats that were ever built were built here in Cincinnati. At its peak, there were over 6,000 arrivals and departures during a given year. This monument was dedicated in 2003, just before the Tallest Festival. And the paddle wheel is an exact replica of the American Queen's paddle wheel, which was the largest steamboat ever built and destroyed. It was sent to the scrapyard last year. Next door to the ballpark is the Heritage Bank Center. This arena opened in 1975. This is the home of Cincinnati's professional hockey team, the Cincinnati Cyclones. They play in a league called the ECHL, which is the minor league of the National Hockey League. A lot of other events go on in this arena each year, including numerous concerts, monster truck shows, and basketball games from local area teams. This arena holds over 17,000. The bridge ahead of us is the Taylor Southgate Bridge. This is the newest bridge crossing the Ohio River here in Cincinnati. It was built in 1995 and replaced the old Central Bridge, which used to stand in this location. This bridge connects downtown with Newport, Kentucky. It is named for 2 founders of settlements on the northern Kentucky side. It is named after James Taylor and Richard Southgate, 2 important early settlers of Newport.
egal, ob sie in der Stadt oder irgendwo außerhalb.
Ja gut, jetzt sagt man, die wohnen 8 Monate lang.
Ja, okay, gut. Das ist natürlich was anderes, wenn du schon 8 Jahre da wohnst.
Aber wenn man sich jetzt auch nicht jeden Tag aber das ist schon witzig, wo wohnt ihr denn? Ja, da und da.
Aber es ist irgendwie so cool, wenn man so unterwegs ist.
Well, since we've been above the Licking River, we have been in the city of Newport. Newport was founded in 1795 by General James Taylor. Taylor, who was a transplanted Virginian and second cousin of James Madison, accumulated a sizable fortune in real estate here in Newport.
Wenn ich jetzt teste.
For many years, Newport was home of the Newport Barracks, which was an important Army training and recruiting post that was established during Thomas Jefferson's presidency. After the flood of 1884, the Army moved the barracks to higher ground, just a few miles up the river to Fort Thomas, Kentucky. You will notice a lot of development on the Newport riverfront. This includes the Newport Aquarium, which opened up in May of 1999. This is a nationally acclaimed aquarium that holds over 1 million gallons of water and showcases thousands of aquatic animals from around the world. The artwork on the aquarium was completed in 2014, commemorating its 15th anniversary. Next door to the aquarium is the Newport on the Levee Entertainment Complex. This has housed numerous restaurants and nightclubs, as well as retail space, a 20-screen movie theater, a bowling alley, and now a miniature putt-putt course. The concrete steps that snake up and down the river on the Cincinnati side are a part of a people-friendly flood wall. This is the Serpentine Wall. This wall was constructed in 1976 as part of a development called Yateman's Cove Park. This has become the focal point for Cincinnati's Riverfest fireworks display, which occurs the day before Labor Day every year. And during the display, over 500,000 people come down and split the banks on the river. Now we are about to go under the old L&N Railroad Bridge, the old Louisville and Nashville Railroad Bridge. This bridge was completed in 1872, becoming Cincinnati's first railroad bridge downtown. To allow for new modes of transportation, this bridge was also widened 25 years later. The bridge was eventually closed to railroad traffic in 1987, and automobiles have not crossed this bridge since 2001. In 2003, the bridge was completely shut down. It was painted purple and turned into a pedestrian-only bridge. It is now officially known as the Purple People Bridge. One of the most frequently asked questions that we get has to do with the white stripes and the numbered scales on the bridge figures. A lot of our guests think that these measure the depth of the river, but if that were true, the numbers would be backwards. These gauges actually measure the vertical clearance under the bridges, letting vessel operators know the distance from the water up to the bottom of the bridge. We are showing about 65 feet of clearance under the bridges today. The motor vessel we are on, the River Queen, stands 49 feet out of the water, so we will have plenty of clearance under the bridges.
What's your photo here, sir? It's 25.
Just through the trees on our left-hand side, you will notice a park area. This is called Sawyer Point in Bicentennial Commons Park. This opened up in 1988 as part of Cincinnati's 200th birthday celebration. This is a very popular riverfront park. They have a lot of nice walking and biking trails. There are also playgrounds, tennis and volleyball courts, and an amphitheater that was donated by the Procter & Gamble Company. The yellow bridge ahead of us is the I-471 Highway Bridge. This is the second newest bridge crossing the Ohio River here in Cincinnati. Officially, this is the Daniel Carter Beard Bridge, but locally it is known as the Big Neck Bridge because of its yellow arches. Daniel Carter Beard was a Cincinnati native who grew up in Covington. He founded the Sons of Daniel Boone in 1905 and later merged with the Boy Scouts of America in 1910. Kurt is our gift shop today. Kurt, we have reached that point that he asked me to tell you about. So Kurt doesn't ride this boat very often, but when he does, he likes to go and slide over to the short spans of the bridge so he can get a good look at Hooters and Beer Cellar to our riverfront restaurants. They are about as riverfront as you can get. They are sitting on a barge. However, if you do look a little bit closer, you will notice that these restaurants are not open right now. And the 9 docks that they had are all gone. This facility is now closed. They have shut their doors for good, and pretty soon they will be getting rid of this dock and sending it to the barge and sending it to the scrapyard. And I will be pointing out a handful more of riverfront restaurants once we get above the Big Mac Bridge. Well, since we've been, also here in Port, we have the Cancun restaurant, the Chart House, and Ensign Harbor. And just a little bit farther up in Bellevue, Kentucky, is the Buckhead Mountain Grill. But over on the Cincinnati side, there is only one riverfront restaurant. That is the concrete building with the red trim. This is the Montgomery Inn Boathouse, famous for the barbecued ribs. The hill over on your left is called Mount Adams. It is named after President John Quincy Adams, who dedicated an observatory at the top of the hill. That observatory is no longer there. In the 1830s, Nicholas Longworth purchased much of this hill, along with a large section of the rest of the city, and he cultivated grapes on its slopes. German inventors soon populated the area, and for over 20 years, Longworth's Catawba wine was the toast of the nation. Blight and black rot disease put an end to this enterprising industry, and Longworth sold off all of his land. Now Mount Adams is home to Eden Park, which is where the Crone Conservatory, the Playhouse in the park, and the Art Museum are all located. The church at the top of the hill is the Church of Immaculata. This church was built in 1859. This church was also used during the Underground Railroad movement. When they received passage to get slaves out of Kentucky and into the free state of Ohio, they would light up the steeple. The Ohio River is formed by the confluence of the Allegheny and Monongahela rivers up in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. It flows in a southwesterly direction, emptying into the Mississippi River down in Cairo, Illinois. The total length of the river is 981 miles, making it the 10th longest river in the country. In its original condition, the river was very hazardous to navigate due to snags and sandbars. And during low water times, you could actually drive a horse and wagon across the river. Since 1824, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers has been improving this river for transportation by maintaining a minimum channel depth of 9 feet. And they did this by building a series of 52 locks and dams. The first of these locks opened in 1879 at Davis Island, which is 4 miles downriver from Pittsburgh. All of these original 52 locks were completed by 1929. If you look over to the Ohio side, you'll see the iron ore being put into a hopper. It goes up the hill, and there's a pile of iron ore just above there. If you follow that all the way to the top in that clearing, you will see a white obelisk monument. This is a 30-foot high granite memorial. This is the Ohio River Monument, also known as the Navigation Monument. This was dedicated in 1929 by President Herbert Hoover to commemorate the completion of the lock and dam system. In more recent years, these 52 locks have given way to 20 larger and more modern lock and dam facilities, which now maintain a minimum channel depth of 12 feet. The little stage in Cincinnati is 26.5 feet, and we're sitting a little over 29.5 feet today, but at least we finally made it below 30. We've only been below 30 a few times this whole year so far. Cincinnati is located in what is called the Markland Pool of the Ohio River. It stretches from Meldahl Lock and Dam, which is 35 miles upriver, down to Markland Lock and Dam, which is 65 miles downriver from the city. In addition, the Corps maintains river levels on the tributaries of the Ohio River system, which is one of the largest inland water networks in the world. We are now exiting Bellevue, Kentucky and entering Dayton, Kentucky. The flood wall behind the parking lot will hold the river to 82 feet. The highest recorded flood in Cincinnati occurred in 1937 when the river crested at 79.99 feet. Everything on this side of that back flood wall used to be the same level as this parking lot, but that all started to change back in 2007. If you look a little bit farther upriver, you will see why. They are building single-dwelling homes, apartments, and condominiums all along the new riverfront. So we have now seen 4 cities over on the Kentucky side. We have seen Covington, Newport, Bellevue, and now Dayton. But over on the left, it has all been Cincinnati. Cincinnati was founded in 1788 by John Cleve Symmes and Colonel Robert Patterson. Surveyor John Filson named it Losanaville, which comes from 4 terms, each of a different language, meaning the city opposite the mouth of the river. And that river was the Licking River. In 1790, Arthur St. Clair, the first governor of the Northwest Territory, changed the name of the settlement to Cincinnati. He did this in honor of the Society of Cincinnati, of which he was a member. That society honored General George Washington, who was considered a latter-day Cincinnatus. And Cincinnatus was the Roman general who saved his city and then retired from power. To this day, Cincinnati in particular, and Ohio in general, are home to a disproportionately large number of descendants of Revolutionary War soldiers who were all granted lands in the state in return for their service in the war. In 1802, Cincinnati was chartered as a village, and David Ziegler, a native of Heidelberg, Germany, who also fought in the Revolutionary War, became its first mayor. The introduction of steam navigation on the Ohio River in 1811 and the completion of the Miami and Erie Canal helped the city grow to over 115,000 citizens by 1850. It is now a city of over 325,000 with a metropolitan population of just over 2 million. Well, it does not appear that we will be seeing any commercial traffic today, but a typical cargo barge is what we have over on our left. This is a jumbo hopper barge. This barge is 195 feet in length and 35 feet in width and has a capacity of 1,500 tons. A full tow on the Ohio River is 15 barges. That would be 5 long and 3 wide, as that is how many will fit through our lock chambers. So if we were to see a full tow pushing fully loaded barges, they would be pushing over 45 million pounds of product. Well, the green crane on our left is one of the oldest and most powerful cranes all along the river. This crane was erected back in 1926, and it is still in use today. They should unload those coils of steel wire that you see up on the hill. The sign on the crane reads Cincinnati Barge and Rail Terminal, but more importantly, it reads mile 468.5. Mile 0 on the Ohio River is in Pittsburgh. Mile 981 is down in Cairo, Illinois, so this tells us that we are exactly 468.5 miles downriver from Pittsburgh. Well, that does conclude the sites I will be pointing out to you guys today. In just a few moments, we will be topping our nav, headed back southbound to our dock. Please enjoy the rest of your cruise.
Yeah.